Hello humans! Today I want to talk to you about Beauty in Pain. That is the name of an artwork I created about a month ago and shared on Instagram. And some of you asked me how I did it. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to share with you a little behind the scenes and walk you through my PSD file so you can see exactly what I did to create this illusion with Photoshop. I have my laptop back here, so let's get started.
Gotta see things, see new faces and brand new things.
Okay, so I already opened my PSD file, but first I want to explain to you how I took the picture. When you have an idea for a concept, the best thing you can do is to prepare your props or anything you'll need for the shot and not to rely on Photoshop that much. It is a lot easier when you make the work during the shot and not just in post-production. In my case, I needed something that looked like I was opening my chest. So I used an old piece of fabric that I had. It was blue, and I know that doesn't match my skin tone, but I knew I could change that easily later. So I cut it with a scissor in the middle, and that way I could grab the edges and create the illusion of an open chest. I used a light bulb on my right side and I had a window on the left. At this point, I was totally improvising because I prefer to shoot outdoors, but I did it inside to give a feel of intimacy to the finished piece. I took photos with the fabric and without it to have pictures of my chest that I used to replace the fabric in Photoshop. I usually take 10 to 15 photos, but this time I totally overdid it. I wasn't sure about the light, the pose, I wasn't even sure if it was going to work, so I think I took more than 50 pictures and I ended up using only 3 of them. So let's go to the PSD file so I can show you. This is the first image that I chose as the main one, and in top of this one we're going to add 2 more so we can replace this fabric for skin. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. First, I noticed that this hole is smaller than I wanted to. Basically, I just copied the image and stretched here. You can ignore this because this is not going to be like that. And after this, I wanted to blend the tone with the skin, and I used an adjustment layer of hue and saturation. And it's easier when you choose exactly the color you want to change. I changed the cyan. As you can see, this is the original tone, and I'm going to show you. Okay, here. You go to cyan, and this is what it was, and you can change exactly what you want, all the tone that you want. And of course, I used another adjustment layers of bright and contrast to make some shadows where I needed to. And now we have to erase completely the fabric. So I'm going to show you the other pictures that I used. I used this one and this one. So let's start with this one. I did a mask to hide all the things that I didn't need of this picture, and I'm going to show you that mask. Here you can see how it looks. Obviously the nipples aren't in the exact same place, but believe me, it still works. And it's a little darker, as you can see, so with another adjustment layers of bright and contrast, I can change that. Here I made it brighter, and here I made it also brighter, but in all the layer. Okay, so now we have completely erased the fabric up there. Now we need to hide this part of the fabric, so we're going to use the third picture. I'm going to show you what I did. This is the picture, and I also used mask to hide what I didn't want it. So first I'm going to show you the mask of the folder, and now the one that is really important, this. You can see it looks really weird, but it's because I'm still seeing the body that was in the main picture, I mean this one. So To hide that, I created a new layer and used the stamp tool to clone the background, and that's it. But as you can see, here it looks very weird, and it's because I chose an image that has a different angle, so we have to fix this. I did it really quickly. I merged all these layers and used Liquify. You can see here the difference. I stretched this and made another changes over here so it looks more aesthetic. And well, my skin tends to be very red. I had to hit all these scratches because while I was making the picture, I thought about using duct tape to hold the fabric, but that didn't work, so I only used my hands. And well, I hit all these scratches using this tool, the healing brush, and it was really easy. I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's say I want to take this off. So that's it. That's how easy it is to use the healing tool. Then I used again another adjustment layers. Here my skin looks more yellowish or blue, and I have some pinks and reds that are not that flattering. I use hue and saturation a lot, and I'm going to show you what I did. I almost never use this on the master because I prefer to edit every color separate. So here I work with reds because as I said before, there are really weird tones here. I just mainly change this to gloss 11, and here I recover some reds that I think should remain, like the ones here, and I gave some contrast here. So if we hide all of this, you're going to see the main image and what we have done so far. But now we need to fill this with flowers. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to hide this mask for a minute, and this is the image that I used. I think I downloaded from Shutterstock. I'm going to make this visible again so you can see what I did. And to make it look real, you have to pay a lot of attention to the shadows and the light. I correct this using a lot of adjustment layers. I'm going to show you which ones I used. First, I started with brightness and contrast because this is much brighter than it should. With this layer, I lower a lot the brightness and a little bit of the contrast. Then I used levels to make the blacks lighter. Here I have two curves, and here I'm going to zoom this so you can see it better. This is like a dodge and burn thing because I'm trying to make brighter the things that I think it should. You have to, as I said, be very creative and try to make it look as realistic as possible. And we have some light coming from this direction. If this flower is really out here, should be more illuminated because this light is going almost directly to it. And the shadows also help because this is a hole after all. And also, if you can see here, there should be more shadows. That's what I did with these layers. How I did this? Well, I created a new I created a new layer. I used the brush tool and a dark color. And basically just started to make the places that I thought should be more dark. And then I changed the blending mode to multiply here. Then you can change the opacity. So you can make this because it looks weird, but if you lower the opacity to 10 or 15, it looks better. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. So look how it was without the adjustment layers I created. It was really flat and it didn't look well, but with these adjustment layers, there's a lot of difference. After putting all the flowers, I thought it was a great idea to put a leaf right here. So I'm going to show you, I used the same image. Here's a leaf, so I mask that out, put some shadows, and then we have to again work on the adjustment layers. The light is coming from here, so it should be brighter here and darker here. Here's the light with a layer of brightness and contrast with a mask. You're going to see here without the mask and with the mask. And here's another layer of brightness and contrast to make it darker and with less contrast. And there is also a shadow that is missing here. If the light is coming from here and the flower is above the hand, then it should be a very tiny shadow. And now let's work a little bit on the background. I'm not sure what I did here, but I changed the tone a little bit. Then again with brightness and contrast, I just lowered the brightness and the contrast is the same. And here I completely changed the color to blue. With hue and saturation, when you press this colorize thing, you are going to be able to change completely the tones, and that's very awesome because you can see which color you prefer. Here we have another bunch of adjustment layers. I'm not going to explain much about this because I don't think it's important. Let's move to these other layers. I'm going to create a new layer, but this layer will contain all that we have done so far. And I'm going to use filter and camera raw filter. If you change this up a little bit, I'm going to make, okay, you can see how it changes from this to this in a second. And I love to use this because you can change the tones individually and it's really helpful. Okay, so let's cancel this. We're almost done, but after seeing the image, I thought that I was missing something, so I added some feathers. These feathers were in a black background and I didn't have to do much work because I just changed the blending mode to normal. You're going to see all the black of the background, but if you change that to a screen, it's going to look just fine and you did almost no work. And what we got left is a bunch of adjustment layers again. And that's it. I think we're done and I'm going to show you the before. I love to do that. This is the main image and this is the final image. The main image and again the final image. So I know this was a really messy edit and maybe you are probably confused with all of these adjustment layers and all these merged images with another adjustments and filters, but even though this was really messy, I wanted to show you because a lot of you asked me how to achieve something like this with Photoshop, and that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching and don't forget to subscribe if you like the video. I'm sure I'll see you very soon with more tips and tutorials.